There I am. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's live market analysis ASX edition. You can just hopefully feel the excitement in my voice as I am excited. We are hopefully on the verge of finally a decent market over here in Australia. We've been watching with just disappointment and disdain the wonderful bull market over there in the US. But if you are tuning in for the first time to these sessions, hey, we're going to have a wonderful session today. We're going to spend an hour looking at the stocks you want to look at. I'm going to give you technicals. I'm going to give you fundamentals. I'm going to give you a whole heap of, I know, what will be invaluable how-to on how to be a better investor and trader. But we do have sessions. Here's a plug for the sessions I run on Friday. Each Friday we look at US markets, and you don't have to be looking at that bull market in disdain. You can be participating in it. So make sure you find the link. I'll put it in the YouTube link below to register for those Friday sessions and jump on board with some of those US companies. I'll do the agenda in 3 seconds. Count them because I've already said it. There should be a window somewhere on your Zoom, or if you're watching in any of the streaming services, to send me a request and I'll give you my best technical and fundamental read. I'm all over the show today with my OBS button pressing, but let us head to the charts. First and foremost, I've got a few requests coming. I might just do James's Twitter request, and that way I can close that window, get it out of the way. We're going to kick off with McMillan Shakespeare, which, as you know, if you do follow me on Twitter, and here's the customary Twitter plug, that's what it looks like there. And if I go, for example, $ MMS, and then just put in my handle. So if you're ever wondering what my opinion is on a particular stock, and I'm not around on a Tuesday, this is a good way to do it. Of course, hey, just ping me, just tweet, hey Carl, what do you think about whatever it is? And go check my replies. I reply to everybody, okay? Let us, now that's dangerous, isn't it? Let us have a look here. Go to latest, don't go to top, go to latest, because that'll show you in reverse chronological order. There's James's request. James, you're famous. MMS. So you can see here on July 14, I shortlisted it, and then check the charts there. It didn't get into my feature charts, and these are generally my favorite charts out of that shortlist on the day. But you can see June 30 also shortlisted, and no doubt it'll be in here because it has been an amazing chart for so long. June 29, June 28, June 14, so on and so forth. May 30. And I know there's a feature in there, April 18. Look, and then September 8. So let's forget that one because that's too long. But you can see where it started to come up on my scans recently. I just mentioned that because we want to sort of tie back this idea, if you go back to, say, April, of where it started to look good and why I started to tweet about it. I'm actually surprised I didn't tweet about it here because I actually think on this candle here, it actually looked very, very good. Let me just change that over and draw that again. That's right. And you can see here, just even there, I'm not sure why I didn't tweet about those. Maybe I didn't put out a short list on those days, but that's where I think it looked fantastic. Lo and behold, 3 days after that, it actually cracked it. Maybe that's a dividend, I don't know. But did come back very strongly. You can see the candles I'm looking for in here and in here, very impressive. What I'm trying to do is give you pictures of what I feel are really good charts. And certainly around here, this one's starting to look good again. We've come out of the funk, that's F-U-N-K, of this downtrend here. And you can see how my moving average system works. On the way up, it's green, and then it goes to amber, something's not right. Typically when you come down, retest and fail. So right here, that's where I say the new bear trend, downtrend has begun. It confirms here, down it goes, and then the opposite is true. So we break above, we change the trend, we come back, we test it, okay, and then we push back up. And so really from around here, it's starting for me to open itself back up to longs. For whatever reason, we didn't quite get the price action and the candles we wanted. And I probably wouldn't have called it a long in there just because of that point of supply. And that is really, to be fair, major point of supply to be dealt with. You can see the impact of that point of supply here. There's that latent supply in the market. It actually took a few goes. And what we often see, you just sort of picture this supply. It starts off, once it's formed, that big. And points of supply are often caused in the market because of ex post regret. You know, lots of people getting in around here for whatever good news that they announced. And then the price goes down and they're all disappointed around here. And they think, you know what, I got in up here. And I'd really love to get out there if I could and undo my mistake. So it creates this, what I call latent, not latent as in, come on, but latent supply in the market. And often it takes us a few goes to get through that. Don't forget supply is just shares that want to be out and be back into cash. Demand is cash that wants to get in and own those shares. So we kind of hit that supply. Let's maybe, where's this corner here? So the first time we hit it, it's probably that big. And then after that, it's not as big. And then we got to it this time. We took out some more supply. Okay, and it's only that big. And then when we get to it this third time, there's just less supply there, so we can actually get through it. It actually still caused a little bit of a problem, but we got through it. So in terms of when we want to look at stocks after they're coming out of big downtrends, and what a great time to talk about it, because there are so many stocks on the ASX coming out of these types of downtrends. I'd say sort of around here, didn't quite get going because of that major point of supply. Around here, I would have said, geez, it's odds on for a breakthrough the point of supply, simply because of the fact that it diminished it so much. Whatever, I don't know what that was, honestly. Could be a dividend, could be an announcement, don't know, don't care. But the response from that was actually pretty good, again, with these sorts of candles through here. I know there's a black one there, but came back from it pretty well. And once I think that's all been dealt with, I think this is a very good candle. So again, just trying to show you pictures that you want to take away, okay? When to get involved. I think that's a very good candle. I think that's a very good candle. The fact we closed above the point of supply for the first time, shallow pullback, that's a very good candle. These don't worry me too much. I know they're black, but they had no impact on the price. These are all very good. That's good. That's good. I was going to point to that one. That's the best one, isn't it? That's a clear-cut buy. Anyway, I started tweeting about it in April, just giving you an idea. And then it's the hard part is, the easy part is getting in. The hard part is hanging on to it, and hasn't really given us any reason to get out since then. I know these two candles are pretty nasty, and certainly when you blend them together, and the fact they took out that low and close beneath that low, that's a pretty good signal there that you might want to take 1/3 off the table. And depending on how you did it, if you did it at the end of trading on that day, you would have got out on it. If you waited to the end of trading on this day, you wouldn't have, if you got out the open of that day, it's up to you. But if you waited an extra day, you probably wouldn't have. Bottom line is you still would have had plus 2/3 here of your position. You don't know what's going to happen next. They're bad candles. Nothing here, nothing sinister there. Not worry about that one. And then really these are all additions. So you're going, plus 1/3 here. Happy days. What if you first time you listen to me? Plus 1/3 is just buying some more. So if you're getting out here, getting in here, and you say, hey Carl, what's the point? What's the point of getting out here to get back in here a little bit higher up? I don't keep score by the price. Okay, I don't care what the price is. Completely irrelevant. It's just following my model. And these are not great, but there's not a single candle in here which you'd say is terribly sinister. And then we just bounce off the the short-term zone. This is all good. This is all good. This is all good. Bottom line is I can't see any reason to sell McMillan Shakespeare at this stage. If anything, really, probably that candle's a plus 1/3. And today, if it can close near the high, because you've got this little point of supply working in the market, I don't think it's a major one. Close near the high, you plus 1/3 again. So no issues here with a hold. And in fact, a good close would cause me to add another 1/3. And then we get to the point where we go, hey, Carl, you don't know this about me, but if I buy this today, it will crash. Not maybe, it is guaranteed to crash. Because Carl, I can't buy charts like this. I knew it was cheap down here. I knew it was cheap here. I didn't buy it here because it'd gone up too much. Then here I said, I've missed it completely. I'll wait for a pullback. It got to here and I thought I'll just let it pull back to here. And of course it didn't, so I didn't buy it. And then I didn't buy it there, didn't buy it there. I didn't buy it there, didn't buy it there, didn't buy it, didn't buy it, didn't buy it, didn't buy it, didn't buy it. And I know, Carl, if I buy it here, it's guaranteed to crash. It's not true. Okay, you need to detune your brain into thinking that the market revolves around you. It doesn't. The market doesn't care what you're doing. Just trade what you can see and understand that you are going to lose. Okay, how about that? You're going to lose. If you don't like that, I know we're still early in the presentation. Some people who have tuned in first time, they just heard this guy, he's supposed to be an expert, he said, you're going to lose. You're guaranteed to lose. You are guaranteed to lose on trades. Okay, you're not guaranteed to lose overall. I think if you follow my methodology, I can't say you're guaranteed to win. ASIC would come down on me like a ton of bricks. But I'm pretty confident if you follow the methodology, I'm confident you win. But you're guaranteed within that overall winning scheme to lose on trades, and you have to get used to it. And you have to just cop it, okay? A very valued trading mentor of mine told me once, he said, Carl, taking losses just like eating breakfast. All right, just like eating breakfast. I do it every day, and I don't think about it. Okay, what did you have for breakfast? Are you still thinking about it now? Unless it was a bloody good breakfast or a bloody bad breakfast, you're not thinking about it. So for you, taking losses needs to be like eating breakfast. Andrew Bosman, I'm pretty sure, is them. Trying to remember. I've had many trading mentors. I'm pretty sure it's Andrew. I'm imagining his South African accent right now. Call. Taking losses just like eating breakfast. There you go. Google Andrew. I'm sure he's still kicking around. Very, very smart man. Now, my point of that is dip a toe in the water. See what happens. Okay. The worst case scenario is you lose. This next one is EOS, another one that's been coming up in the scans. I won't do the Twitter thing, but trust me, it's been coming up. And it's doing really well. If you got on board, hang in there. There's nothing in this chart to suggest that we need to get out. What a great little segue, though, from McMillan Shakespeare, which is really looking quite bottom left, top right, into this one, which is like, these are the exciting ones. These ones I like. Look, what a monster. What a monster. Now, it was a super monster in all the right ways going through here, right? You see how the traffic light system works. If you don't know what the traffic light is, you can see over here, I use the 2134 EMAs as my short-term trends, my 144 233s as my long-term trends. If you don't believe me, they work. Go and test it yourself, and they work over any time frame, over any security, any asset class. But the bottom line is you can see what a monster downtrend. And don't fight them. Yeah, I mean, seriously, are you going to fight these? You would be crazy to fight these. Okay, so but the trends change. The trends change, and the key is that you start to get longer amber zones instead of just little touches on your amber. You get longer amber zones. The short-term trends turn up. These amber zones stop going from being these huge areas where the price gets rejected and pushed back down again to areas where they kind of get held, don't they? Just coddled. Have you noticed that as well? The coddling of the amber zone. And then when you can, push off the amber zone and start to offer support, that's when things start to turn around. We're going to see many examples of where more advanced turnarounds, but this is where they start. And really all I'm looking for in and around this zone, you know what I like to see, the big white candles. And the candles are very important for me. It's the final finishing touch. And it's the candles I'm looking for. There's two types. This is the first one here. It's called the Marubozu. So it's called the Marubozu, which means in Japanese, not kidding, shaven head. Okay, because it doesn't have any of those little wicks or shadows pointing out of either side. And yet your other type of candle, this is pure demand. You think about what happens with your Marubozu candle, because Marubozu opens down here, doesn't it? Opens down there, and that's the low, happens to be the low of the session, doesn't it? And then we have the high of the session, which is also the close of the session. And you think about Marubozu candle on the open, how much demand was there? And this is what I love about technical analysis. I mean, we could debate electro-optic seasons. I think they do space lasers, right? Seriously, space lasers. And somebody's saying, hey, Carl, not exactly. You're close, but not exactly. But hey, you know what? I don't care what they do. It's completely irrelevant. All I care about is my Marubozus, because I can understand what the company does, or I can say, look, other people understand what it does, and that's good for me, because on that day of the Marubozu, they were buying like crazy, and literally on the open, nobody wanted to sell. They bought. And typically when something goes up, that stimulates more people to sell, but it just didn't happen because there was demand all the way through the day on the close on the high. The only thing, I'm going to put to you, the only thing that stopped people buying on this Marubozu was ding, 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 the ASX bell, right? 4 o'clock, market's closed, and the buyers are going, hey, look, I haven't finished buying yet. And that's what that Marubozu is telling you. It's telling you that the market hasn't finished buying. So the probability of getting another up candle after that Marubozu is very high. Now, I want to put to you, what is the probability of getting another up candle 6 months after this Marubozu? A year, 6 years. You get where I'm going with this? Marubozus are candlesticks, really instructive for what's going to happen over the next few candles. Yeah, maybe next week. No more than that. They're not long-term trading tools. That's what all the other stuff's for. But they're great short-term trading tools to pinpoint what's happening with supply and demand right now. And the key Marubozu, that's a really good one down here, isn't it? This one wasn't quite a Marubozu. It had a couple of little shadows, but you can see very much the demand side is in control. Now, the other type of candle is this one here. This is the other important candle I want you to take note of and make it your focus. in the future to continue to watch out for. So this is the one where it's got the smaller body. Preferably it's white, doesn't have to be white, but preferably it's white, because that means that we got that demand all the way through the close. And they're similar in terms of there's just as much demand in each, but they're different pictures on the chart. So your eye's going to see different things, but there's the same amount of demand. Can you see that both candles have the equal amount of demand in the system and the equal little bit of supply? And that's a terrible phrase. Less supply, that's the word I'm looking for. Diminished supply. So they're just as important as that. You wouldn't say, oh, the Mariposa is better than this one. It's not. And some people call this the hammer. But if you imagine, I can't do it, because you see my hand there. They're putting my hand around this bit. It's like a hammer. So anytime you see this, it's positive. A lot of people think that when you see this candle here, let's call them candle 1 and candle 2. When you see candle 2 in an uptrend, some people say, oh, no, that's very, very bearish. Those people just don't know anything about Japanese candlesticks. They're completely clueless. That candle is always bullish. It doesn't matter where you see it. You see it at the top, the top, the top of the trend, or the bottom of the trend, or in the middle of the trend, it's still bullish. And if somebody tells you at the top of the trend it's bearish, then you need to stop listening to that person. In there, it's fine. And in there, it's still good. The candles here are wonderful. Nothing more to do, but hold on to it. The question is, would I buy it now? If you didn't get on around here, I started tweeting about it. What do you do about it? Look, I still think it looks very good. The only problem here is, and I'm going for the world record on arrows drawn today, ladies and gentlemen. I intend to draw a world record number of arrows in my presentation. I think each week I draw more arrows, don't I? Now, we'll keep that one for the short-term trend. It's just a bit of a ways away from my light green zone. Now, if I don't find anything else today, and I'm just desperate to put money into the market, I can't see any reason why you can't add some risk to this. But let's see if we can find something that's a little bit closer to the light green zone. But I think the question from James got it. James wants to know, can you hold it? I think, James, you can. Let's head over to Craig, who's in the Zoom session. Hey, streamers, I'll get to you very, very shortly. I promise you. Everybody's question will get answered today. We'll not leave until that occurs. Delta Lithium, let us kick off the lithium sector review, because I do check the YouTube videos and the engagement, and I'm not kidding. For many of you out there going, oh, look, I'm interested in lithium, but I'm not obsessed by it. You've got to see the engagement of these videos on YouTube. It goes everything else. Then it goes lithium, and then it goes, after the lithium, then it goes down to everything else again. So let me judge, therefore, that people are interested in lithium for some reason, and therefore let us do the customary lithium sector review to keep people happy. Probably head off a bunch of questions in the chats there. Okay, so we'll do Delta first, and then I've just got my list of the ones I'm going to do next. Delta Lithium, super popular lately, isn't it? For reasons which honestly, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know where they're doing it, so I could not care less. You've got to understand me. I don't care. Now, all I care is what the chart's doing. Short-term trend is up. Long-term trend is up. Blasphemy, Carl. How can you spend your hard-earned cash on something you don't know what it does? You need to have deep insights into what the business does. Okay. Now, I've got deep insights into how people are responding to what the business does. That's my deep insight. Short-term uptrend is good. Long-term uptrend is good. I think the people who listen to me and suffer through these sessions long enough already know what the problem is. You can type it in if you want. What's the problem here? But everything else is good. And look, I'm just going to draw a little box in here, and I won't make it red because I have in the past associated red with selling. But we just got it kind of in a little zone there until we get beneath the bottom of that zone. I don't think you need to panic if you've got it. So look beneath here, and let me give you some levels. That low there is 83 cents. So look, close, give it a little bit of room, maybe an 82 or an 81 closing beneath there. I think you are going to minus 1/3. That's my view. You, of course, hey, you do whatever you need to do. That's your business. But beneath there, I'd be going minus 1/3. Otherwise, I think you can hold it on the basis of the short-term trend is still up, the long-term trend is still up. And for the people that are typing in somewhere, nobody bothered to type it in. But I know you're all thinking it's the black candles. Black candles are a concern for me. So let me get rid of that and point to a few that I don't like. I don't like that one. I really don't like that one. And the reason why I really don't like that one, I dislike it more than this one, is because it's the second one that's come in at, well, $1. Okay, well, there you go. That I can make that point as well. Some of you probably already screaming at the screen, hey, Carl, hey, it's $1. Come on. That's why there's supply there. Okay, well, that's actually not a bad thing that you get supplied $1 because it's logical, isn't it? You expect that people who bought it at 50 cents are selling some at $1. That all makes perfect sense. So it does diminish a little bit the severity of that candle for me because there's a really logical reason for people to supply there. They're not supplying there because they think that's it. This is fully valued. It'll never go up again. They're supplying because it's $1. Okay, it's probably why we got the first candle. This candle here is actually quite disturbing as well because it really reinforces the first candle. That's an upper shadow. And think opposites of those white candles and lower shadows we talked before. So black candles, upper shadows are equally bad to tell you there's supply in the market if you're long. This is a good candle here. That's the bad candle. And then we hit $1. Look, none of these are so concerning, but when you combine them all together, I think we've got a clear zone of supply in here that we can't really muck around with. And I think all I've done is just confirm in my brain that beneath here is a minus 1/3. Now Webs, I might not be here on a Tuesday to talk about it, but I think if you're closing beneath the green zone, you're thinking about another minus 1/3. Okay, and then we'll just see what happens from there. Okay, because I don't mind keeping a plus 1/3 just in line with the trend as a worst case scenario. Now I've taken a very negative, I wouldn't say bearish look, but not the most exciting look at DLI for people who think, oh, this is going to $2, Carl. But that's just where I want to start. Now, could it turn back into a buy? Let's look at the positives. Of course it can. Everything here is fine. Okay. Trends all good. We just need to see the price action return to higher peaks and higher troughs, so something like that. Even before it gets through that point of supply, I would look on very favorably with which candles, which candles I want, the big white ones or the lower shadows. So let's just keep an eye on this one. If you've got it, I'm a happy holder. No reason I see in here just yet to panic out of it. But I think we do want to see some demand coming with some nice white candles pretty soon. So I'm going to draw somewhere around there, and then high peaks and high troughs, and you might even start to think about adding some risk to this one. So there's your exits. Hold at the meantime. There's some potential entries. I don't think I need to talk any more about that. I think I've pretty much covered all the bases there. Okay, super quick lithium sector review, and super quick on the basis that I don't need to talk about this one. Would I buy this one? No. And many of you will say, Carl, please let me tell you about all the great things Argosy's doing. Like if I just could have 5 minutes to talk to you, Carl, I'm sure I could convince you that you really should be telling people to buy Argosy. I say, you know what? Start talking. I'm just going to go over here and play Tetris on my phone. Okay, but you keep talking. Now, there's no interest from me. Okay, there's no interest from me because there's no interest from the market. So I understand people love Argosy. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm ambivalent. I just don't think I need to buy it right now. That's not what I want. AKE, Allkem looks fine. Do I need to sell some? I think we're okay. You heard the long pause there. We are responding. There's your point of supply. So everything I'm going to say today as we go through the next chart is going to be consistent. I don't say something for one chart, then all of a sudden say something different for the next chart. That's not how a methodology works. That's not how a system works. So we do have clearly some supply up here. How we ask yourself, okay, I can see the supply. How are we responding to it? I still think we're responding to it in a very positive way. Yes, there are a few black candles in here, but I think we're fine. Look, somewhere beneath here, I think you want to start to think about taking some off the table on Allkem. And if you're a bit more conservative, then let's say here, I think you're very strongly. I can't say definitely, because again, ASIC would not like that, but I can think you're thinking about it very strongly. Okay, read between the lines. Because I think we've got something very wrong with the trend if we're trading beneath here. I'm happy to give it the benefit of the doubt until then. And I'm far closer to adding risk to Allkem than I am to taking it off the table, because I think if we can get some of those nice white candles coming in really soon to just knock out the supply, it's pesky supply at this level, then I think it will break out and it will be off to the races for the next run, wherever that might end. And we don't know where it will end because it's blue sky from here. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with Allkem at this stage. No reason to light the load just yet, but keep an eye on some of those key levels. Core lithium, I've been really negative on this in the past, and I know it annoys a few people, but it is one of the worst ones out there in terms of the technical setup. And much like Argosy, I don't think we need to talk about it. And I do see from time to time, I see my little list here, call lithium up 5%. That's probably a day like that. And I go, oh, maybe I shouldn't be so negative to it. But eventually it just confirms what I believe, that there's nothing to see here called lithium, shareholders. It's not one I would own. This would be way, way, way down the list. In fact, it's impossible for me to own a chart like this. Let me think about it. It's impossible for me to have money on a chart like that. And that doesn't mean I hate it. Okay, don't be offended, guys. It's not you. It's me. Okay, it's not you. It's not core. It's me. The problem's with me. Okay, I can't buy stuff that looks like that. But if it starts to look like this, and we get those trends turning around, so, well, this is a good example somewhere. Well, maybe we're not going to get it on core, but, this starts to go back to amber and then green, and short-term trends turn to green, we get some white candles. Hey, I'll be all over it. I'll be your best friend again. Until then, we just have to agree to disagree. Essential metals, this one here, ho-hum, it's stuck in the middle. It's not the worst one, but it's not the best one either. Okay, we've got some problems here, essential metals lovers. Okay, and there's so many people, they love their lithium. I love my lithium stock, Carl. Now, it's not bad, but it's not great either. Okay, let us keep moving then. I'm just going down my list. GL1, which I think I called Galan Lithium last week, and sorry for that. But honestly, I don't care. This looks okay. I think this is one of the better looking ones out there, certainly not the best. But we do have an uptrend. We do have funds, investors out there that are looking to buy the dips when they occur. We're getting some nice white candles in here. The price action is okay, and the short-term trend is up. The long-term trend is trying to change. And in fact, the long-term trend is trying to offer support to this trend where it has in the past offered resistance. So this is the makings of potentially a nice turnaround. And there happens to be an arrow on it. This candle does disturb me. It's come back reasonably well. Don't get me wrong. Not bad there. But I'm a little bit gun shy on that candle because it tells me that supply in here is pretty rock solid also. I could definitely look at this very favorably if it can close above that supply zone. Until then, I think you can hold it, but I'm probably not going to add some risk on this just yet. Galan is Galan. That's the one I mistakenly called the other one. And this one is, let's keep moving. No need to talk about that. I know people go, Carl, Galan's the one. Okay. IGO, I know I put this as my preferred chart. There you go. As a chart, that was the one I thought looked really, really good on that day. And then look what happened on the next day. Okay. Hey, you are guaranteed to lose from time to time. If you follow my feature charts, anything I say in here, you are guaranteed to lose. Okay. If that bothers you, if being guaranteed to lose bothers you because you would rather have somebody tell you, hey, if you hold on long enough, it'll come good. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not that person. You're guaranteed to lose. If you don't like that, there's a little button, click it and get the hell out of here. You don't belong here. But if you're okay with the fact that you're guaranteed to lose, you can move past the fact that you're going to lose a little bit of money from time to time, following a method that hopefully will make you money over the long run, then you're okay. Hang around. That's a good candle. This one's not a good candle. It just didn't work out. Does anybody know? Type it in there somewhere. Tell me what happened on this day. Why did that change? Was there a dividend? I don't know. I don't check every stock every day which pays a dividend, right? But that's weird. It's weird to get that and then that. Maybe there was some news. This is a problem through here. I'm going to go if it close less than. Let's go minus 1/3, and that's very clear. We've got some issues. Yep. That's your level, okay? And where could you go? The next one, I'm very close to going minus 2/3 on this because of whatever this is, and then today's candle is not great. Let me get the latest update. What I don't want to see is all the demand coming in from this shadow. So look at all this demand here. Look at the demand, and then where is it today? Like, why is it not there? There's the update. Okay, so I'm going to go, if today's close is there, and I don't know where today's going to close. I can't see the future. But I'm going to say, if today's close is that bad, I'm going to go minus 1/3, and then that will be your second 1/3. And then the most you have on this is plus 1/3 on the basis of that long-term trend. Something's up there. Let me check. IGO for Parry, you're a legend, Parry. Expected to take a non-cash pre-tax impairment in the range of, there you go, 880 to 980 million following a reassessment of the Forestania and Cosmos nickel assets. Nickel. There you go. That's the problem with IGO. It's got a bunch of nickel, not just lithium. which they got from Western Areas, in June 2022. So Craig's also given me some, and Michael and Jill and David also give me colour on that. There you go. Everything I said, look, I don't need to know the news, isn't it? That's the whole point. Does it make you feel better knowing the news to then get out? Or do you say, look, everybody assessed it. Let's go here. Not that it's going to matter, okay, because it won't be represented in here yet. But I do want to show you the power of technical analysis when you think of it within the context of technical analysis is actually fundamental analysis, because within the 15 brokers here that cover IGO globally, all right, because if they cover it, Thomson Reuters surveyed them, and Thomson Reuters got their estimates for revenue for FY23, 24, 26, so on. They got all the various financial metrics, and all this spreadsheet does is from Thomson Reuters product Refinitiv Icon, get all those estimates, put them in a nice little place for us to look at them, get growth rates therefore. It gives us all the historical data, that's in the bag, and it also tells us, based upon those 15 brokers price target, that the average price target is 15.45, which based upon, I'm guessing, yesterday's closing price, about 0.3% upside. If we look at the brokers' ratings, okay, they've usually given a buy, hold, sell. No strong buys, 8 buys, 4 holds, 2 sells, 1 strong sell, very polarizing company. My point is that they did all that research. Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, who's in there, UBS, they all collectively and respectively within their office house somewhere in Sydney or Melbourne debated what this write-down means for the value of IGO. And it won't be in here because it's just too soon. It's too soon to be reflected in these numbers, okay? But let's just take these numbers with a pinch of salt for now. But at face value, they are pre that announcement. And just say, look, I like to go EPS and see bottom left, top right. Wasn't quite there, but I can forgive anything that happened after the pandemic. And then apparently going to be very good for a couple of years, and then not so good after that. Compound annual growth rate is actually negative over the next few years. My model would say that I can't say low risk or high risk. I don't know enough about the company to say it, but that's generally the default setting is correct. And using a forward PE, which is based upon the broker's forward-looking median PE over the next 3 years of 10, that is overvalued. Is 10 the right PE though for IGO? Because in the past, well, it's a company that has gone from not earning to earning, so that's a bit tougher. But it looks a bit low. So I could maybe just give it a market growth. And then that's probably too high, but anyway, it's probably not worth that. But anyway, I'm just going to go back to F. Look, it's going to be somewhere between minus 20 and plus 20, isn't it? Which is coincidentally about there. Okay, and I'm not going to guess because I don't want to do that. But it's with a minus 6% growth rate. This is saying that the highly discounted P of 10 is probably still not enough to make it attractive. But what I'm saying here is that you can go on the broker consensus if you prefer. I'm not here to tell you one is better than the other. What I'm trying to say is that the brokers have done that assessment. That yesterday, I'd say often what happens is the Aussie brokers will act on the day, and then the international brokers act the day after. And here's a little hint. Don't do what the Aussie brokers think. Generally do what the overseas brokers think. Think about what's happening, because the overseas brokers can't do that analysis to respond to the day. They're all asleep. Okay, then they get that in New York, in London, wherever they are. And the next day is what happens, is what the overseas brokers are doing. It tends to be right. It's just my observation, okay? It's anecdotal, but it's my observation. I'm a little bit concerned about that one. I know I got off grossly off tangent there. Let me get back on tangent. We go LTR. I don't think you need to own LTR. I don't know. After this and after this, I can't see it. There's got to be somewhere better for your money, given that there's this takeover there. So maybe you can pull it out of that and put it into something else. I wouldn't put it into here. I'm not the most bearish person on mineral resources. I think in the past we've talked about going back to neutral. We have been quite bearish on it through this, but more neutral through here. In fact, I think there's probably no way you could still be in it, however, because of that close beneath 67.72. I don't have the markings on this one. Oh, geez, I'm in the wrong place. I'm supposed to be here. You'll see why. There we go. I'm in the wrong place. So all those markings I just did are now all in the wrong place for today's presentation. I'm just going to go back and delete them because they're the charts. That other chart is the ones I send to media, and long story short, I should have been doing them here where I'm allowed to keep my markings. So there's no way you would be in it. 0% buy, 25% hold, 75% sell. And I don't think if you've been following that idea, you'd be greatly disappointed thus far by the fact it's gone up a little bit. Let us go to PLL, which looks okay. Okay, it's very sideways. I love this candle. Don't get me wrong. This is a really interesting candle, and it certainly gets me back to a hold. But I don't think I'm a buy just yet, just with that point of supply there. I could look at this very favorably. If I saw more white candles in here, like a nice Maribozu, I could just punt a plus 1/3 or something that kind of just put in a little bit of price action like that with some nice candles. But I'm not a buy yet. But if you've got PLL as your lithium stock, I think you can feel quite comfortable about that. I think you can remain pretty comfortable about PLS. We've said in the past, if it closes beneath 483 minus a third, below 464 minus a third, I can't see anything to change my thesis on that. So, and holding in the meantime. Would I add risk to this right now? No, I wouldn't. I'm concerned about where that arrow is drawn, that big point of supply there. Okay, but happy holder. PMT, I know, is super popular right now. And I think you've got some problems here. Look at this. We've said in the past things like minus 1/3 back here. Maybe you would have been disappointed about that, but not disappointed now. Quite clearly here, we've got some problems. I would say if it closes beneath here, I know that's a wonky line, close equals minus 1/3. And I would suggest to you that's your final 1/3. I can't see any reason, if it closes beneath there, to be still holding Patriot Battery Metals. I know you'll tell me it's the best one of the bunch. SYA, I'm just going to go ditto. I've said to you many, many times, there's no reason to own that. Either you've listened and you've been glad you've got out of it, or you haven't listened and you're stuck in it still. Vulcan actually starting to look half interesting. This is a decent turnaround, but I'm not going to fight this. I think that's too big to ignore. So I'll pass on that one. And then I'm going to finish with WR1, which last week I think I said looked okay. Maybe it was somewhere around this candle here. It looked okay. This still looked good here. I don't like these four. I'm going to go on the basis of those four. I'm going to say take some precautions because we have close beneath here. I'm just going to go minus 1/3 on that. And some of you will say, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. And some of you say, I don't care what he says. I think it's the greatest company in the world. And that's up to you, honestly. So that is the big lithium sector review. If I missed yours, I'm sure it's going to be in there. In fact, I did miss one, which is LRS, which is one we've been very positive on. So we should talk about today. I think we've got some problems. So, even as soon as that candle, we said plus 1/3. And I think you're going to take that off the table if we get a close like we see today. So we're going to go minus 1/3. And hey, it didn't work out. You didn't lose much skin, to be honest, but I think that's the way I'm thinking about that one now. Okay. And you can see we have had dalliances with this in the past. But just a precautionary measure, I don't like the fact that it's gone through this little level here. Okay. So there's your demand, there's your demand, and there's your demand. You got 3 points of demand, and we're going to very clearly close beneath that today. So I think precautionary measure minus 1/3. What you've probably still got some skin in the game here, just on the basis of these trends are still very good. But I think you are precautionary measure taking some off the table. The other thing I'll just quickly say about lithium, we've got some issues with the lithium prices. In fact, I will go back to here to show you. That's Ansell. But lithium hydroxide, we are rolling here. We're rolling, and it just feels to me like the Australian lithium companies are just ignoring this, and we're starting to roll here as well. So just be really careful, okay? Don't be that person that gets sold on an idea and holds all the way down, and then just every day you're just looking at that same damn stock, type it into your platform, and it's gone down another 0.5 cent. Right, it's just, it's been up to Holdings for years. It's done nothing. Don't be that person. It's not much fun. I've been that person. They're not much fun at parties. Okay, let's go back to this one here, and I'm going to do some streamers now because you've been very, very patient. And we're going to do, for Jackie, we're going to do DUG. That's a good start right there. But let me go to this chart here and try it. This looks wonderful, doesn't it, Jackie? That's amazing. I can't see any reason to sell it. I mean, there's been so many reasons to buy it. I'm pretty sure I've tweeted about this one, but the only reason why I might not have tweeted on this is that I'm guessing the liquidity is not massive, and it might have just been missing my liquidity filter. But just from a pure technical perspective, these are the places you buy. Okay, these are the clear-cut, just no-brainer. No brain required. Take your brain out. I have to be careful because ASIC probably doesn't like me saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not need a brain to invest. Let me say you do need a brain to invest, because stimulation through the cortex of whatever you need to type, right? But you don't need to understand, is my point, why, where I've pointed those arrows, I feel, it's just my opinion, are good places to buy a company if you see charts that look like that. Okay, so it's about training your brain. It's about implanting pictures into your mind that the next time you see a chart, you'd go, first thing you do, and I don't know if I can even draw over this, you go, oh, I can't, won't let me draw on the name. But who cares what the name is? Who cares what they do? Okay, the universe of everyone else has done that research and they love the stock. They are trying to buy it, and at the same time, the people who own it don't want to sell it. And it's amazing there. There's absolutely no reason for me to sell this. It's nothing. And a lot of people say, oh, look, very sensible if you take some profit here. Look, just take a little bit off the table. Just take a bit off the table. You can't go wrong taking a profit. Look, I think you can go wrong taking a profit. I think you can go very, very wrong taking a profit. Because, if you looked at it here and said, oh, that's gone up too much. I think right now you're thinking, well, I went wrong taking that profit. There's nothing in here to tell me to take profits. And if anything, I can't see any reason why you can't add to it. And it's a bit of a waste from my green zone. And I like to get those white candles near my green zone. Look, here's one of them again. But I can't see any reason for not doing that. So I have to do that. Okay, let's go to Peter, who wants Lovisa. I haven't looked at this for ages. And the reason why I haven't looked at Lovisa for ages is because you can see how the short-term trends have changed. The price action went all wonky. And even after being very supportive here, look, the long-term trend has changed. And we know, again, this is like one of those, we've seen so many in these sessions, haven't we? We know what happens next, all right? It's like, I told you I watched that Indiana Jones movie. And they've got to find the parts of the device. And in the promo, I'm not ruining this for you, but in the promos, they showed a certain vehicle going into a certain cloud structure, right? So they're going to find the device by the end of this thing, because if they don't find the device, then how can you have the end of the movie where the device is kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? My point is, you kind of know how this one's going to turn out, don't you? You know what happens after this goes from green to amber, after we break through this at a rate of knots, mind you, and then all we're really waiting for is now to go up, test this, and then reject it there. And then it's all over Red Rover, probably for a long time. But maybe I'm looking too far into the future. Look, I can't own Lovisa right now. This is for me. I can't see any reason to own it because of the threat of what could happen. However, if you do happen to own it, I don't know, maybe because people in the media told you it was a great company, because, I don't know, if you went in there one time, hey, I went into Lovisa one time and there were lots of people in there, so that means the business must be good. Yeah, it's back of the envelope fundamental analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I can hold it on the basis that this here, okay, this is higher than this. So we've got high peaks and high troughs, right? Telling me that demand is increasing. That's good. And supply is diminishing. Okay, so if you think about what this represents in terms of pods and bosses, there's your bosses there. So if, come back to me. If the bosses are rising, right, we're pushing that supply out of the way. If the pods are rising, each time we pull back, we're meeting more demand. Okay, so that's good. The candles here, actually, I really like this candle. I think that's great. I want to go down. I want to just check how that corresponds to the volume, because I like to see if there's a bit of supply removal on that. There was a little bit. We saw it this day, and this day. I'd call it elevated volume through here. We were removing some supply. A nice little push here. Okay, this is all good. This is all good. This is a fairly shallow pullback within the context of the rally. I'm not so happy with the candles through here, but then they start to be good again. So if you've got it, I can hold it. But what I'm doing by holding this is I'm just going to be so obsessed now. It's so crucial what it does here. And we can't say this is the Indiana Jones movie, right? Because the future is not written yet. We might find you just log the most incredible white candles in that zone and the strongest just not give up price action in that zone to tell you that actually that zone's not a problem. We can actually get above that zone. And if that occurs, I'll look at it then and I'll be more positive on it. But I'm worried about the zone. If you see the black candles in there, particularly the black candles with the upper shadows, you see a sort of a price action pattern that starts to look like this. All right, just be really careful. Until then, happy to hold it and see what happens. Let us go to AD8. I haven't looked at that for a little while, but it stopped going off my list, and this is going to happen. It's quite possible that I really like something, and because it looked good here, I like that candle. That one was a great, but that one was really good. And then, I don't know, black candles, profit downgrade, who knows? Something like that one we looked at there with IGO. But it changes. And the good news is that whatever you do, you'll always have the ability to say, well, it has changed. I don't need Carl to tell me that I can see in the demand supply has changed. And certainly, if you're getting in, I think you needed to lighten the load through here, because that's a minus 1/3. And you say, hey, look, if I did minus 1/3 there, I'm disappointed now because it's going back. And I say, okay, maybe. But you still got plus 2/3, so you shouldn't be that disappointed of the position that you had. And I think that's where you are right now. We're waiting for another reason to sell it. And look, I can't discount another reason to buy it, okay? And that would occur around here. But this is not something necessarily that we're going to be probably seeing soon. I would hope so. I shouldn't say that. It's just as likely as the negative scenario. What would we do? Okay, I won't talk about the buying case because you know what I want to see. White candles, lower shadows, little pullback, change to the right price action, confirming that actually this long-term trend is the new long-term uptrend and it is holding. What I'm more concerned about, I'm not concerned about that. That's the best case. Why would I be concerned about that? There's nothing to be concerned about. What I am concerned about, and that's why I tend to talk about these scenarios more, is if we start to see something that looks more like that. Okay, and you start to see this black candle appearing, and then I think you need to go the next 1/3. Okay, and certainly beneath here, that's where your final 1/3 comes in. Okay, let us go to COB, which is cobalt blue. Okay, Cobram. COB. Look, this is the buy candle for me. And I was a little bit reluctant to put it in because I was worried about that. But this is a confirmation of the buy. I think that's the day I put it in. Correct me if I'm wrong. You got the big move here. This candle is disturbing. It's disturbing, but not unusual given that we are sort of just around that 50 cent level. So 50 cent is not a surprise. Not a surprise. 50 cents. No, we've been 50 cents before, so it shouldn't create too many problems. We've also got a pretty substantial previous point of demand through here. There you go. I don't have to make this stuff up because the market makes it up for me, where a previous area of demand, and you know that's true, that an old pod, and the more major the pod, the more major the POS it can present in the future. So look, this is for Peter. I think fairly logical reasons why 50 cents, the old point of demand, why we've got that candle. Let's see how today goes. I want to see this shadow grow, Peter. I want to see this lower shadow grow and grow and grow back to a more bullish candle. I'm a hold either way. I don't think you need to do anything about it. If this candle should be a full black candle though and close on the lows, in combination, when you've got this candle and this candle, they're hard to ignore together. Okay, and if that's the case, I just think you just take a little off the table. Keep the bulk of what you have, but just take a little bit of a precautionary measure there. Okay, that's all. But otherwise, I think it's fine. Let's go to Leonardo wants WDS, which is starting to look better. I don't think I'm a buy just yet. I still think it's very sideways, but very happy to hold this one. Okay, all of these white candles coming in, they're great. I know it's come down the last couple of days, and ordinarily you would look and say, well, Woodside's been down 2 days in a row. That's not good. But it's come down with the right candles. There's been demand in the system. So you can see the fund managers buying into pullbacks, and that's a very positive sign. Look, I was about to say I could get very positive on this if it starts to, even today, I kind of think you can buy it today. But another little white candle sort of pushing up through here, I think you can buy it if you are a bit of a sucker for punishment, okay? Or you're looking at it long term, you'd want to add some oil exposure, okay? i.e. you're a sucker for punishment because you want to hold something long term. And the reason why I say that is because you've still got so much supply through here. I mean, massive supply zones to deal with. But I think it's starting to turn the corner. I think it's starting to look good again. Dare I do this? Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Let me just get it off my chest. Okay, FEX, which has been coming up on my scans. I haven't put it in as a feature chart. I think I might have put it in a short list, but not feature, just because it's so sketchy. I don't like all these candles. There's just too much sketchiness in the candles. And again, you have to be a total sucker for punishment to want to trade this one. And mark my words, maybe it does go from 30 to 35, maybe, but it's going to be excruciatingly painful in the way it does it. And then it probably will never go higher than that in the history of the universe. So look, if you've got it, I can hold it, but it's just not one I want to punish myself with. Leonardo, let us keep moving. I need to pick up the pace. Did I do REA for John? I don't think so. John, nothing to worry about here. I know they're not great candles, but I don't think there's anything too sinister going on. What's today? What are we at? We're down 0.4%. It's a pretty rubbish market today. I'm just looking up here on my other screen. You can't see. It's a pretty rubbish market today, so that's not terrible. I'm a happy holder there. Obviously, I can't buy it. There's no candle there to say, hey, you need to buy it today. But I don't think you need to take any precautions like we've done on many, many companies today. Okay, let's go to Marco and to Grey Mining. That's frustrating, isn't it, Marco? There's three black candles here. Blend them together. It's not good. They're disturbing. You're back to about break even, aren't you, on this one, I'm guessing? I'm going to just squeak in at the benefit of the doubt here. And I'm just squeaking in. That's okay. These are your demand candles through here, these two. Okay, so if we see these two candles get threatened, I can go, oh, this is a bit of profit taking through here. But if we start to see, this is where the demand kick back in. There's a little pos here, the little pos, Marco, that little pos, which should act as a pod. Okay, so we should get that as a pod. And I'm just trying to give you places where if I'm not around, where you will have to take some precautions. So the demand is here, all right? The demand is here, okay? Now, if we get a black candle, I don't want to jinx it for you, but, you know, if we get the black candle, that kind of looks like that, okay? I talk a lot of worst case scenarios in here, but that's kind of the way you need to think as a trader sometimes is, look, where's my risk? What do I do if it goes wrong? Have a plan for what to do if it goes wrong so that when you get there, you know what to do. Don't just keep believing, oh, everything's going to be fine. Now, that is a purely hypothetical candle, but if we were to get down here, what does it say? I mean, what does it say about that demand, right? Is it still there? And if not, why not? Because why not? That's not a good thing. And think about the supply. Think about how much, I like to do this. Think about just how much supply there must have been to get it there. Okay, that's a problem for me. I'll leave that little ampersand sign in there. Okay, let us keep moving. NIC, you are a sucker for punishment, aren't you, Marco? I tell you what, this one here, this is the ultimate sucker for punishment trade. There's no reason to own this, Marco, let alone buy it. I mean, if we do the percentage, I love my percentages. I go 0% buy, hold, 5% hold, and I'll tell you why in a second, and then I'm going to go, what does that leave? Maths, 95% sell. That's how I look at this one. And the only reason why I'm going a 5% hold is because it just appears at this stage to be holding above, a bit of a demand zone. But beneath there, the next one's down here. It just doesn't look good to me. That's just not something I want to have in my portfolio. Unless, of course, you love pain. If you love pain, hey, then that's a completely different story, isn't it? This would be THX, Marco, for thanks. Hey, Steve, hello. It's Carl with a C. Can you look at AGL? Sure can. Oh, wonderful. The stairway to heaven. Now, it was on Osby's, on Friday, saying this is the most challenging stock, I think, for viewers because, on this day here, I'm calling it a buy. And it just makes your teeth hurt, doesn't it? It just makes your teeth hurt when you just consider how much this damn thing has gone up, even to that point. Here I am going on the media, like putting my reputation at stake, and I value my reputation, saying I still think it's challenging, but you still have to buy it. Why? Because it's just a picture of demand. It is a picture of everybody. There's pictures of dogs playing poker, right? Completely meaningless. And then you've got pictures of demand. And it's not just demand, but it's just no supply as well. People don't want to sell this thing. All they want to do is own it, and they just don't want to sell it. And they're the stocks I want to be involved in. I can't see any reason why you would sell this one for Steve. And I can't see any reason why you wouldn't just keep buying it as either, because it looks that good. And if it's not for you, well, that's your call. It's your money, your call. But I just think that looks amazing. And I'm curious here. I know I probably don't have time for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to go here because I'm curious. Do the fundamentals on where did yours go? Why did it disappear? It was there before, and now it's not. I'll close the damn thing and then try and reopen it. See if that kickstarts. It's just an OBS issue, I reckon. I don't think it's an Excel issue. It's blank. The reason why you're blank is I'm restarting Excel in the background. I'm hoping that picks it up. There we go. And we'll go File. There we go. And it's going to load up by default with BHP. But what I'm saying is, I want to understand from a fundamental perspective why the market is just falling over itself to buy AGL. And you would automatically assume that it must have the most amazing set of numbers here, surely. Oh, where did it go? All right, it doesn't look like Excel's going to play ball with us today, everybody. I won't leave it on a blank screen. I'll head back to here. And this is really bad television, but let me describe it. My fair value using all my default parameters is 6.9%, a minus 6.9%, which is interesting. EPS here, I can't see why. It's because the PE is normally so low, but you can't see this, but it does look like it's got 41% compound annual growth rate, but because it's got a huge FY24 and then coming off after that. Look, I'm going to say the brokers are at 11.21, which means it's 2.4% overvalued, and mine's coming in a little bit below that, but I reckon I need to jack up the PE a little bit. So I'm going to say it's about fairly valued as well. Okay, I know you can't see it, but the brokers, my model, are saying it's about fairly valued. It's just so fascinating. Is it a momentum trade? Is it the hedge funds that trade on momentum? There are many of them out there. I don't think it's a valuation thing. It's baffling. But this is the beauty of it. I don't care. I've already thought too much about this. My brain is doing too much here. It doesn't need to do so much. NWH. I'm so glad you brought this one up. Who's this? Nishan. It's been coming up on my list and coming on my list. I just haven't had the candle. So see here, that impressed me. I love this candle, and I love this candle too, but it just didn't have the little pullback and hold to that long-term trend zone that I wanted. So what I'm talking about here, you often see me draw stuff like this. I just want to see a little bit of this. And then I draw a little green zone, don't I? And if you see the right candle in there, I say, that's where you want it. Well, this is there. That's there. Okay. Don't know. Maybe I didn't do a shortlist on that day. I think that's the candle you wanted to buy at. I know that's history. I know that sucks too, doesn't it? But I don't think it's too late. I'm a clear plus 1/3 on this one. We do have a point of supply up here, and it's an almighty point of supply that we will have to deal with at some stage. But I think you can make the reward risk work with it, sort of stop somewhere under there, entry around current prices. There's a little one in there. I'm not too fussed about that. And I think it's okay. So plus 1/3 on that one. Not sure what that is, what that one is there. I just want to see what's underneath it. I've talked about this many, many times. You can see. All good. I would have loved to have put 1/3 on it there, though. Would it be nice if we could go back in the time machine and have the ability to do that? Plus 1/3 for you, Nishan. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. DOW, which I think is going well. This is, okay, there you go. See this? See what I'm talking about here? See that? That's what I'm talking about. And that is, again, just trying to train your brain into pictures. And if you get the right candles in there, see that little candle? It's not much, but it's still the lower shadow and the body. It's the demand candle we want. This is the clear. This is just, that's where I would have shortlisted it. That's what I'm pretty sure I ran this as a feature chart on the day, and I said pay plus 1/3. happy holder then, Ishan, nothing to do but ride that one out, see where it can go. Could you buy it today? I can happily buy it today. I've got no reason. There's no reason I can see on the chart for me not to go plus 1/3 today as well. RUL, and you can hope you can just sort of see how simple the decision-making process is now. Okay, we don't fuss about it. I'm happy with that one. I know as much as it pains me. Like the words coming out of my mouth are like barbed wire, everyone. And I think you know why. Plus 1/3. SLR. Looks good. Yeah, it looks good. I think it'll go up, but I'm not going to buy it. Here you go. I said, looks good twice. Then the next words are, I think it's going to go up, but I'm not going to buy it. Because baffling stuff, isn't it? Baffling stuff. I'm just concerned about this. I'm just concerned that this long-term downtrend zone has killed it so many times, right? And we're not guaranteed. This is not guaranteed to get through this time. But I think the price action is excellent. Okay, I think the candles are very, very good, bordering on excellent, and I think it will go up. But I have to follow my rules, and my rules say that this is too much of a concern for me to call this a plus 1/3 at this stage, and I'm happy to miss out and buy it at another stage where it looks better. And I just think there are other gold stocks with better charts that are just. Look at the demand in there, and a very shallow pullback today. So even Northern Star, I think, is looking quite good. So I would go to these charts first before I went to SLR. Try to catch the laggard. You really are trying to catch the laggard there. RSG, maybe not looking as good as some of the other ones. I know we've looked at that in the past as well. I'm just trying to, off the top of my head, remember some of these gold stocks. The Newcrest, obviously, we should look at. Looks okay, not as good as some of the other ones, but. Yeah, I don't mind SLR, just not sure if that's going to be the best one. RMS, and that's maybe not in the top of the pops. Look, I think that's going up as well, though. Okay. No, look, I think that looks fine. Okay, that's a little bit of a gold sector review there. Got to pick up the pace. We've got about 15 minutes left, everybody. HVN. What's that? That's bloody awful. Harvey Norman. Look, this is a good place to do Harvey Norman because it's a ditto. It's a ditto for SLR. I actually think it'll go up. I think there's a lot to like here. Great price action, great candles, but I'm still just too concerned about the power of that zone. And we have seen, ladies and gentlemen, you ignore that zone at your own peril. It's up to you. Hey, if you aren't worried about it, if you're all like, Carl's dark pink zone. Hey, go and buy those stocks. But if you think, no, I've seen it enough, I'm not going to mess with it, that's where I am. Okay, let us go to Rich Lisa. Rich Lisa, I think is how you pronounce that. It's a very interesting, very wonderful name. Let's go to EOS. I've done EOS. I'm happy to continue to hold that. And I think I said no reason not to. I said definitely no reason to minus 1/3, as you say there. Probably have more likely to look for another point to buy it. From Michael, AVH, let's have a look at this one. Oh yeah, this looks very good. Avita Medical, I know I've tweeted about this one. And again, the concern here is, it's gone up so much, you have to sell. I don't think so. Yes, there's some supply. I mean, there's going to be some supply here. We are stopping. Look at that. We are stopping at the most logical. This is just so logical. We stop here. I mean, come on, really? We have to stop here. So this is all, it makes a lot of sense. $6, bit of a round number. Not the first time we've seen it though. Okay, it's not a surprise, $6. No, we've seen it before. But a logical place to see some supply, and that's what we're seeing, a little bit of a slowing down of momentum. But otherwise, to hold on to this gap here is just so impressive. So anybody that tells you, you can't go wrong taking a profit. No, I think you will go wrong taking a profit looking at the candles I have. Now, I don't know the future. I can't predict the future. If that bothers you, don't listen to me. Okay, go listen to somebody who thinks they can predict the future. I have plenty of them out there. But if you start to see something like this, I'll be more concerned. Black candles, upper shadows. Until then, happy holder. Would I add 1/3 here? Or look, I don't see why not. If you're taking more medium to long-term view, I think that's fine. But maybe just wait for the tiniest of little higher trough, a little hook to be put in. I don't think you'll see this. I think more likely you'll see, that supply. Let's get rid of that. There's probably more like this. come in, and then, you know, if you get a nice candle in the light green zone, the fabled light green zone, all right, let's try it this way. Let's do that, then let's do that, and let's do that in the light green zone. Then you could buy it. Until then, happy holder. Let us do then 360. I think we're still a pretty happy holder there. Nothing I really need to say here. All looks good. Would I buy it? Just waiting. Ditto from the last one. A nice little white candle, little hook up. Happy buyer there. TPW, ditto. In fact, today's candle starting to look very good. In fact, today's candle closes on the high. Then I would go plus 1/3. So I would just literally copy and paste that. But let me just say, a little caveat there. I do want to see if it closes on high, please. Okay. That's all of yours there, Michael. Kirsty, DHG, I've done DOW, which is great. So let's do domain group. These are all my shortlist. Everybody's following my shortlist. Good to see. Happy holder there. Nothing to panic about. I know today's candle's not great, but hopefully it does continue to be a white candle. Otherwise, you can see where the arrows have drawn. I think we're fine here. It's just a bit of a pullback in the market today. I think this is very strong. And the next big white candle, Kirsty, I'd be going plus 1/3. I'm just not seeing it today, but I'm pretty happy with that one. And CCP, still happy with this one. Another short list, all on my short list, which is good. And happy holder. In fact, I can't see any reason not to. I mean, it's a pretty rubbish market today, and this one is still looking that good. So again, if closes high, happy to go plus 1/3. No issues there at all. And hopefully they go well for you, Kirsty. Rupam, DRO, Droneshield, which looks okay, not great. These last two candles are quite acutely disappointing, quite concerning, probably a retracement back into this. Maybe if you got the right candles in the light green zone, you could, but that would only be, you would only ever trade this, only ever trade this stock if you not like, but you love pain. Okay. And let's keep going. This doesn't need to be painful, everybody. Okay. It doesn't need to be that way. Rupam, you love pain. Rupam. You don't just, it's a special kind of pain that you love, isn't it? Rupam, I can hold on to this. I'm not a buyer. The candles aren't there. The trends aren't there. The price action's not there. Okay, I could hold it on the basis that it's starting. I think I told you this last time, but again, I'm not a buyer, and you're only a holder if you just love pain. WTC. Now you are in the pursuit of happiness here. This one is the pursuit of happiness. Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, my wife's favorite movie. I love it too because it's about a man who his dream is to be a stockbroker, and I just couldn't think of a more noble dream, really, to benefit humanity than wanting to be a stockbroker. And there isn't a more noble company than Wisetech. That's a good segue. Happy holder here. Could I add some? I could add. I think this still looks fantastic. There's probably your 1/3 candle here. In fact, today. You know the drill. I'm starting to become very boring in these sessions, probably for many people. And I think hopefully boring in a good way. Happy on that one. CBA did come up on the list. I shortlisted, I can't believe it. I shortlisted CBA. I did think long and hard about it, and I do think long and hard about those shortlists. Some stocks don't get on simply because of my history with them, or I just think, no, I can't shortlist CBA because it's such a rubbish stock. And you say, oh, no, CBA is fantastic. To be fair, it's not as bad, maybe. It's like, but it's just, it's a pain. It's a pain trade. It's the pain trade. But if you want some yield, you want to look at a top quality Australian bank, you could buy some CBA here. I'm not going to put the plus 130 on it because I don't love pain. That's for Adonis. LRS, I'm pretty sure I did. We need to be careful on that one. Watch the close today. WGX, this one also for Rich Lease. I don't like today's candle. Today's is fine. Sorry, that's yesterday's candle. I don't like yesterday's candle. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. There's still plenty of demand in here, but I'm concerned. Let's watch this. If I see that, we're in trouble. Okay, I see another big black candle. Before that occurs, we're in trouble. Until then, I will give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe a delayed reaction to that point of supply. Otherwise, I think it's okay. But that's on notice. Okay, we don't just have plain sailing there. I stopped typing in any new stuff, by the way, because we are going to run out of time. Cameron, LIN and RNU, please. LIN. I don't know. What's that gap there? I don't like gaps. I don't like gaps down. I don't like the candle that preceded it because they knew there was going to be a gap the next day. Look, it's fine. Very clear though. What I don't mind when things go wrong is if you've got a clear-cut set of technicals to guide you. And I would say minus 1/3 there and minus 1/3 on a close, but not just a tickle. But if they close beneath those levels, that's where I'll be looking to take some risk off the table and go and do something better with my money, not sit there and lament. Oh, it's so unfair. I never get the good ones, No, just take your medicine and go and find something else. And it's annoying. I get it. I feel your frustration because I reckon that is the clearest signal to buy there. I know there was a little bit of point of supply, but the strength of that candle would have led me to be adding 1/3 just on the basis of that candle. And we don't know the future. We don't know how things are going to turn out. So, and that's why we take these precautions. We don't just assume, it's a great company or whatever it is. It'll come back up. That's, I think, faulty thinking. RNU, which I can do very quickly. It's a no for me. No redeeming features at all in RNU. Could I hold it? Oh, I'm struggling to get to a hold, but I can do it. If you think this is the best company in the world, good luck to you. But certainly beneath here, we've got some major issues, and I think that is pain. That is the pain trade. Today's theme is the pain trade, isn't it, ladies? We're trying to have a theme every week, and that's it, the pain trade. I don't know what that is, Neil. Neil, you talk in riddles, Neil. Let me tell you. Allkem I did for you earlier on. Neil agreeing, core lithium is rubbish. Metals Co. Is a truck. Again, in riddles. I love Neil. IGO, I've done that one. There's 1,000 comments from Neil. Neil, it's unproductive because I can't find the real ones. James, FCL. Okay, looks great. I know I've tweeted about this many times. One of my favorite tech stocks out there. I think this looks very good. It's a wonderful chart. Hopefully you're on it because I feature charted it many times, and happy to go 1/3 today. Today's a great candle. Closes there. No-brainer for a third for me. I can't say no-brainer. Sorry. When I say no-brainer, it means no. I can't delete that comment. Okay, I never said no-brainer. Hey, this is general advice. You do whatever you have to do. I had a visceral response from my subconscious to the chart. Okay, apologies, Mr. ASIC. Now, EOS I've done. Woodside I've done. I'm at the bottom of this list. FEX I've done. TNE. Oh, this is somebody's favorite stock. Looks okay. Happy holder. Could I buy it? You know what? Yesterday's candle was very good. I think if today's candle pushes up and closes near the high, I think you could add 1/3 to this. It's a quality stock and a quality trend, and no issues. It's not quite there yet. I won't draw it. Let me see it before I draw it. But I think it's a hold. I'm a happy holder on that one. REA I've done. I've got a Kogan. Yes, let's do Kogan because I know that's what we've been talking about many times. This is very vindicating. It makes me feel very good. I've got a big smile on my face. I know many of you are on it. I'm hoping that many of you are making money. I'm hoping that I'm making money until Christmas time because you'll all send me a bottle of something nice. I've got nothing more to say. In fact, let me just do what I have to do, which is go copy and paste. And this is going to challenge people. You're making money on Kogan, and your natural instinct now is just to hide, isn't it? So your natural instinct right now is to not disturb the universe because finally, thank the maker, you're actually making money on something, right? So your goal is just to fly under the radar until finally you can make some profit, right? Okay. You can't think like that. It's going to challenge you, but plus 1/3, assuming a high close today. Okay, that's the stream is done. I'm not going to look at yours anymore. I've done AGL. I've done Kogan. LDX from Anthony. How are we going for time? Awful as usual. LDX. I think it's fine. I think you can hold it. And look, I don't mind trading these. Once they've had that big pop and their customary pullback is everybody who was in it forever, who was just waiting to die. I call this waiting to die. You are literally just waiting to die here. You just want your money back, and any spike up, you're going to get out, all right? Because you probably got in here. And I say die because invariably you're still losing on it, all right? So they're out and it's starting to go back up. This is an important candle here, and this is purely for the risk seekers, okay? And if you're not that person, don't go here. But that, I think you could add some risk if that's the way. Today's not a candle that I would ordinarily go for. Well, I wouldn't. It's not a good candle. So I wouldn't buy it today. But if you're on it, I think you can hold it there for Anthony. ALL, one we haven't looked at for a while because it started to go a bit bad on us, but coming back well, actually. I don't know if I'd slap a buy on this one, but I'm a happy holder there. I know today's candle's not great, but these candles here are very, very good. Okay, so happy to hold that one in the meantime. Ping. I think you're new, so maybe you haven't seen our history on that one. We were in it. I'm pretty sure most of us would have been out of it by now, but I can hold that one. Let us do CHN. Oh, we've got some problems here. This is for Jung. Jung, I'm guessing you're new to these sessions as well, Jung. But hopefully you did hear everything we talked about before, where I say, pardon me, we want the short-term uptrend, the long-term uptrend. We don't want lots of black candles. Lots of black candles is bad, and lots of black candles is just sell, 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 sell. It's just every time it pops up, even if the market's good, it still gets bashed down again. This is a real problem. The price action is as bad as you can get. So if I was to do my percentages, and this is just how I feel about it, you can do whatever you need to do. I'm going to say 0% probability I think this is going up, and therefore 0% for a buy. I'm going to go 0% for a hold. I can't see any reason. There are no redeeming features on this chart. It's broken through long-term downtrend. It's come up. It's tried to test it very feebly, and it's come back down on black candles, and therefore I must go 100% sell. Now, this is just my opinion. You should do whatever it is you think you should do, and if even not listen to me either. Okay, NEU. Nice gap here. I wouldn't have picked it. You know, it was sort of just bopping down, but just shows don't doubt the power of the dark green zone, ladies and gentlemen. It is a power to behold. I can go hold. I know these look a bit bearish, but when you blend these three candles with the gap, you get still a very, very bullish candle. And I'm a happy holder here. I'd be more inclined to look for a buy at some stage, but I just need one more big white candle, and then I could add some risk on that, but I can't see it, so let us leave it there. Ask me next week. He ping. No worries, Steve. That's fine. I'll reply to you, Steve, with a PH then. That's from Nishan. No worries. TWE. We've got some problems here. It's a shame because it was looking good. You can see my minus 1/3. The Australian, I should say AU office meeting, the Think Markets office meeting has started, so I will need to leave you soon. Nishan, you know what I'm going to say on that. There's no reason to own that. I've done say it in JLG, however, it's starting to look good. I'm thinking, I know I'm going to get confused. It's the fund manager, Janus Capital. It came up in my shortlist. Now, this looks bloody awful. So if you're looking for a short sell, Nishan, you've nailed those three. TWE, CHN, JLG. They look awful. Now, I'm going to finish this list, and then we're done. VYS for Hanelli. VYS. Oh, Hanelli, that's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful? A little bit, I did say plus 1/3 on this one. I know, clever. Happy holder. No reason for me. I can't see any reason to get out. I'm going to go plus 1/3 to reflect that one. Just magic. It is a bit tight and sketchy, isn't it? But the trends are exemplary. I've done AGL for you, Perry. That is definitely a Perry type of chart. I've done IGO for Doug. It is looking a bit crappy now, isn't it? For Alan, I've done WGX LAU. Looks good. No reasons for me to get out here. But you do know, Alan, there is a bit of a pos there. So I trust you to keep an eye on the situation and manage that appropriately. AZS for Jill. I think we're okay. I'm a hold. I don't think we need to minus 1/3. I actually haven't done any since here. So hold it if you got it. Not a buy. Not enough in there just yet to be a buy. More white candles, high troughs, please. James Hardy. This one is still fine. No reason to sell that for me, Simon. Happy holder on that one. Plenty of plus 1/3. I think, Simon, you might be new, but as one, we have been looking for buys for quite a period of time. So happy holder there for the people who've been in it. This is also one we've been looking for buys for a period of time. Happy holder there. Just be careful, though. That little black candle and a couple of fledgling ones there. Maybe just a little bit of a precautionary minus 1/3 just under there. And again, if you are new, that is how I do things. I'm never all in. I'm never all out. We chip in, we chip out. That's how we do things. REC for Chris. Probably not a buy, Chris, just on those last two candles, but it's got the basis of a really good trend. Keep an eye on it. Next big white candle, maybe closing about 36. Then I think you are in the ballpark. RUL for Doug. We've done CTT. Sorry, Doug. Deb. Sorry, Deb. Happy holder there. A couple of little upper shadows, not great, but I think today's candle's exemplary. In fact, you know what? If today's candle closes on the high, no, it's a hold. Oh, geez, it's tempting. I'm worried about these two upper shadows, and if I zoom out, you can see where those upper shadows are at supply. So no surprises. It's not a surprise. There's supply there. We know why there's supply there, but actually, geez, today's candle is very good. Look, close on the high. Well, let me go plus 1/3, close on the high today. For you, Deb. AWC, I don't think I have to spend long on this, and I think you know why, Deb. Not looking good there. I can go hold just because it is, you know, some white candles, but beneath here, minus 1/3. Deep breath. I have to go, everybody. MVP. Doesn't help when I type things in wrong. MVP. Okay, this is not even my fault. This is Amy Broker being just nasty to me. MVP, happy holder here. Big white candle. Look, it might pull back a few candles, but I think it's fine. So happy holder. I don't think you're buying it based on today, but I think you can hold it. Downer I've done. LRS I've done. GT1 doesn't ring a bell. No interest in that one at all, Jill. Okay. And then we've got all the people that said IGO. I can't do anything beneath that because I'm way too late. I've talked to you about we've got literally a few seats left for the Trade Summit if you're in Melbourne. And when I say a few, it is literally a few. As in Nick, who's online, and Nick can confirm it, he said, Carl, don't even spruik it today because we're full. And I said, no, we'll fit some more people in. Okay, so hit that one up there. July 22nd, Saturday, I'll be in Melbourne with two of my very, very good trading friends, and we're going to talk to you about trading. And I'm just working on my preso now. It's a few days late, of course, as you would expect, and it is a ripper presentation, so definitely tune in for that one. If you are not a client of Think Markets, well, you certainly should be, because we are the good guys in the Australian broking scene. You can trade anything you want with us, whether it's shares for a cheap flat rate, that's Hin and Chess sponsored, or you're trading CFDs, commission free, mind you, on over 4,000 products through FX, indices, commodities, futures, crypto, and shares. Commission free on Aussie shares. www.thinkmarkets.com/au to open an account, because we are an award-winning broker. We keep getting nominated for them. We just got nominated for another one. Best platform, in fact. That's what it says there, bullet point number 2 and 3. But bullet point number 4 is the important one. Dedicated account manager. You can actually call us and speak to somebody. And that's how most of our clients interact with us, over the phone, not by those pesky little chatbots. You know, my account just went on, I just got locked out of my account. I've got 10 oppositions. What do I do? And the chatbot replies, sandwich. Okay, because the AI is on the fritz. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button to stay notified of any of my future updates. Hit the thumbs up button to let me know you like what I'm doing, so I continue to do more of it. Other than that, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today. All the best for your trading and investing until we catch up again, which won't be Thursday. I'm on a plane on Thursday to Melbourne. No webinar Thursday. Bye-bye for now. Before you go, don't forget that everything we discussed today is general in nature. It has not taken into account your personal financial circumstances or particular needs. So before acting upon any of that general advice, please consider it very, very carefully, okay? If I said, I think something looks good, okay, or it looks bad, that's just my opinion. The rest of the information in that disclaimer is important. You can, please do read it. And if you have any questions about Think Markets products or services, you can contact us either by phone or please download our PDS from our website.